Welcome, everyone. Nice to see you all. This for the purposes of the recording. This is the meeting of the Connecticut Commission on America 250 Connecticut, the Governor's Commission. And thank you very much to Southington Library for hosting us this time. We've been having our meetings around the state, so thank you very much. It's a lovely room, and we look forward to working with you. I know you're doing some exciting projects yourself right here at the library, so I think we're giving you a few minutes in a while to say something about that. And I am, for the record, Denise Merrill, former Secretary of the State of Connecticut and chair of this commission. My vice chair is Jason Mancini from the Connecticut Humanities Council, the administrators of this program. And to my left today, we're honored to have the Honorable Stephanie Thomas, Secretary of the State, current Secretary of the State, and she's doing a great job. So I'm glad you're here today. Thank you. Okay, without further ado, just to say, this will be our last commission meeting before the big events on July 4th, 2026. Of course, we were organized to commemorate and celebrate the 250th anniversary of the founding of the country, Declaration of Independence. And we've done a lot of work over the last few years. And I think today you'll hear a lot about what's going on around the state and at the state level. So I look forward to hearing some of the updates from the committees. And just in advance, thank all of you for all your work all this time on this commission. It's been a long haul, but here we are, and it's 2026 and it's coming right up. So there's a lot still to do, but a lot has been done as well. And we'll hear about some of that today. A lot, particularly in the towns. And I think when we catch up with how many towns are now involved and doing things, for example, Southington Library is a great example. There's so much going on out there, and our job right now is to make sure everyone knows about those things. I think that'll be our greatest challenge in the next few months. Okay, so approval of minutes from the January 21st meeting. I think you got a copy of those minutes in the packets. Any discussion about the minutes? Any omissions, commissions, comments? If not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Okay, by Steve Armstrong. Second. Okay. All in favor of approval of minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
No, any abstentions? One abstention,
Two.
Deb Shanley and Stephanie Thomas. Okay. Okay, the minutes are approved. And I know we do have some people online. I don't know if one of them is Eileen Frank here?
I am. Hello, everyone.
I see you. Hello, Eileen. We want to welcome Eileen Frank, the new executive director of the Connecticut Museum of Culture and History. I am on the board, in full disclosure. And Rob Krett will be leaving for retirement. And he's been wonderful advocate for history, for Connecticut history and everything else. But welcome, Eileen, because now you are now part of our group. So want to say a few words? You should.
Happy to join you. I'm sorry I'm not there in person. I'm getting over a respiratory infection and thought no one wanted to be exposed to me, so Zoom is best. We have a lot of exciting things planned. We are opening Rebellious, our next exhibition on April 23rd, which is our America 250 themed exhibition, as well as a lot of events around the actual July 4th weekend. So look forward to working with you in this commemorative year.
Thanks, Eileen. Thanks for being here today, even over there on the screen. We can see you very nicely. All right. All right. Thanks so much. Now we'll just dive right in. We're going to start with an affiliate update from the Barnes Museum. And that's you.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Introduce yourself, by the way.
Hi, I'm Christina Volpe. I am the curator and site administrator of the Barnes Museum here for the town of Southington. We're a municipally owned museum that shares a board of directors with the Southington Public Library and Museum. We're that part. So the Barnes Museum is planning a lot of exciting things for America 250. You have a flyer that was handed out. I'll be working off that a little bit. Our major exhibit opens at the end of this month. It's about Asa Barnes. There is a standing structure here in town that was a Revolutionary War tavern during Rochambeau's visit. We're playing off of that by creating an immersive exhibit where you can explore his office, Asa Barnes's office, using items from our collection and from Southington wide. Will kind of be encouraging guests to go back to a tavern keeper's time, minus the beer, because we need a permit for that. Anyway. So coming up soon on the 21st is our very popular program here in Southington called History Pints. This program partners with a local brewery, Kinsman Brewing, here in town. We host about an hour of storytelling, and you come and get beer and pizza. Need I say more? That one will focus mostly on Asa Barnes and Southington during the Revolution. We also are partnering with the DAR. I'm going to let Nadia talk about that. She's our outreach coordinator and preservationist, and she's been working really hard on partnering with the DAR. But lastly, for my part, we will also be doing a walking tour specifically at Oak Hill Cemetery to talk about Revolutionary War veterans and their families. We're trying to use inclusive language. Lastly, we have a 4-panel pop-up exhibit, very similar to the state libraries, that will go to each of the participating middle schools and high school here in town, as well as the library, calendar house, and every municipal entity that will have us. The pop-up banners talk about Southington during the Revolution, Prince Duplex, an African-American who fought for his freedom during the Revolution, who was enslaved here in Southington during that time, and Hannah Woodruff, Southington's heroine and connection to the founding of Southington's DAR. I don't know if that's questions. I know I go super fast, so please let me know if you have any. But basically, we're using Southington stories to try to connect national narratives to local history. We will add revolutionary stuff wherever we can fit it, including on our regular downtown Southington walking tours, downtown Plantsville walking tours, and house walking tours that we are doing this summer. Very busy, small team, big heart into this project, but proud of it. I'll pass it on to Nadia to talk about her connection with the DAR. She really got them involved with this. Our DAR was very sleepy prior to her involvement. So go ahead, Nadia.
Thank you. I'm Nadia. I am the outreach coordinator and preservationist at the Barnes Museum, and I also run the local history room at the Southington Public Library. So you were right, we're also library. So one thing I want to mention too, if you need any research, just get in touch with me and I can let you in the history room. But with that being said, we really wanted to get in touch with the Daughters of the American Revolution, the Hannah Woodruff chapter in this town, because one of our family members, she married into the family, Julia Arnold Bradley, actually was the first regent of this chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Have you guys heard of Bradley Memorial Hospital, like down the road?
She was the
She
founder.
was the founder. She was also the founder of the hospital. And what we want to do, I partnered with the DAR, is they're going to come and they have a ton of artifacts that they are going to have on display. And then Christina, I, and one of our former interns are going to actually give a presentation here at the library about how the DAR was founded, how the Hannah Woodruff chapter was founded, and its connection to very prominent citizens in Southington, and also tying it into prominent members or prominent members of the public library here. And it's important to also tell the story of women's contributions to the war, because they really did, and they really made it, they really have a lasting legacy.
That's a part of a lot of what we do at the Barnes Museum is not only always try to partner with somebody else in town, either a local business, another organization, just to always ensure that we're sharing the stories, we're sharing the stewardship of everything. And also to make sure that like our name is in everyone's mouth, right? What's the Barnes Museum doing now? Something insane. Anywho, so please, if you're interested in our pop-up exhibit, learning more about that, I'd be happy to share. We also would love to invite all of you very, very busy people to the Barnes Museum, which is quite literally feet from here. You could walk if you wanted to, it's beautiful out, or come take a drive. We do have a little parking lot. I would bribe you with coffee, but I don't think I need to. We have amazing things in our collection, and we'll be open for you after your meeting. So thank you so much. We'll take any questions, or if not, we'll leave the table.
the flyers, additional flyers? I don't think we got some more.
Yes.
I'd be happy to forfeit mine. We were only able to
Same.
print 10. That's nothing against the library, just against our printers. That's okay. I'm happy to share. Also, I didn't say this, but we are active on social media at the Barnes Museum. I'm Christina.Volpe@southingtonct.gov. And don't panic, because if you message our social media, you'll get me.
Yeah, and we have 2 extras if anyone
Yeah.
needs them, so please come by and grab them. I underestimated how many that I needed
That's
to
okay.
print, but yeah, like I said, please get a hold of us and, kind of pivoting back if you need, nadia.dillon@southingtonct.gov. I can also let you have access to our history room. That does have quite a bit of Revolutionary War history.
Thank you. I am reminded as you speak about a couple of things. One is how lucky we are to be in Connecticut, where we have all this history right around us and under us. I mean, and a lot of states don't have that. So, and I'm also reminded, listening to you, that you are following the themes of this commission so exactly, because one of them was doing history, getting people interested, particularly children, I guess, in history, and that process of putting it together, and telling stories, telling perhaps untold stories or less mentioned stories. And you're doing all that. And so thank you very much. I think you're doing a wonderful job. It sounds very interesting.
Thank you. Please write to our town council and let them know that we're working very hard.
Please come to our events too. Our walking.
We'd love to have you.
Very popular. And again, we're gonna also, in addition to Oak Hill, we're gonna try with our summer walking tours to weave in. Because of course, we have like a monument on the town green and a marker talking about the Revolutionary War. And History Pints is a fan favorite. So you really do need to come. Christina has people who come to each and every one at Kinsman Brewing.
I'll have to go now. I've worked way too hard today.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for having us, and we hope to see you at the Barnes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect way to start the meeting. Okay, that's great. All right, now we're going to move on to the national and regional update, and we'll turn to Cindy Tolosa to tell us about federal, nationwide. There's all kinds of things going on. You may have read about some of them in the papers, so, or whatever we read these days. So Cindy, thank you.
Of course. And just want to make sure you guys can hear me. The microphones are far away from me. Okay, good. Awesome. So in terms of federal updates that we've gotten recently, we have heard that America's field trip, the winners will be announced in May. Rachel, can you go to the next slide? Sorry, I was having issues sharing my screen earlier. And they will be running the program again in the 2026-27 school year. They've had folks very excited to participate. So we will hopefully in May be able to tell you if any Connecticut students have won first or second place again. Our American Story, which is their Airstream trailer that is collecting oral histories, is going to be in Connecticut sometime between April 25th and 29th. If anybody has anyone who should be interviewed as part of that program, please let us know your recommendations and we can pass them on to the National Commission. We don't know where they will be or what date yet, but we do know that they'll be here at the end of the month.
Do you know how many days they'll be in Connecticut, or is it just like one day?
I'm assuming it will be one day because they will be throughout New England over the course of that weekend or that 4-day period.
Could you just quickly remind us what that program is exactly?
So it is an Airstream trailer that is, they're going to have somebody in there doing interviews and collecting those stories. I believe the stories are being shared with the National Archives afterwards. Was my last understanding. I haven't heard anything differently recently. They are working with Their Story, which is a platform that also works with the University of Connecticut to collect those stories. And it'll be a combination of audio and video.
Okay, so this is in response to the concern originally when they hatched this program, they said, how are we going to memorialize it? Or how are we going to keep all this? And so this sounds like their answer to that question.
I believe
Yep.
so. I
Yeah.
believe that they
Okay.
were able to collaborate with the National Archives on this. And this is slightly different from the very first iteration. So the very first one was something that you could do at home and submit, and
Right.
this is
Yeah.
slightly more structured.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else? Questions? Okay.
America Gives is a program to kind of track and collect volunteer hours. I think they are up to $5 million hours pledged across the country. And I believe that their goal is 250 million hours that will be volunteered throughout the country by the end of 2026. So folks are encouraged to submit volunteer hours online at America250.org, and America Gives will take you to that. The Flag Sojourn continues, which is part of America Waves. It is one flag that is traveling the country, and I believe all of the territories and all of the American cemeteries around the world. I believe it's going in reverse order. So Connecticut, because we were one of the first states, will be one of the last stops. We do not have that date yet, but we'll share it when we receive it. America Innovates is a competition for college students, and there will be an expo in DC in November. And the competition portion is college students were encouraged to submit startup ideas, and there's now kind of a competition that they'll select 10 of those ideas and provide seed funding. They recently announced America's Soundtrack, which is a initiative to collect and share songs from throughout American history, and they're putting together a playlist on YouTube that they're sharing out with folks. America's Time Capsule will be dedicated on July 2nd, 2026. We have been asked to contribute materials related to the 250th in Connecticut. Those materials have to be received by the end of April. So we will be submitting archival reproductions of the 250th stickers we've created, the graphic notes that were taken at our first conference, the planning guide that we've been encouraging folks to use, and a couple of other things. Yep, and the 250th pin, the CP 250 with the backing. There were very stringent requirements for that. So a lot of the suggestions that have come across to us were not possible. They're really not accepting any kind of different plastics, and a very long line of things that they're worried will not make it 250 years. So most of what they're accepting is either solid metal or archival paper with toner.
No wiffle ball.
No wiffle ball.
I don't know this.
America's Block Party is taking place on July 4th, and that will be a live broadcast of activities throughout the country. We have submitted some Connecticut events and have asked permission for any July 4th events to submit their events to the list for the national broadcast. If anybody knows of any events that are taking place that aren't necessarily on the CT 250 calendar, that are interested in being part of that live broadcast, please let us know. And then we have not recently heard any updates from Freedom 250. I think they have not been on our national calls since January. So I don't think we've had any updates from them since our last meeting. But we did see this morning that they launched a website for the public. So that is 250.gov.
Freedom 250 being Freedom 250 is the administration's newer program.
Correct. It is the White House Task Force and their associated program, as opposed to America 250, which is the congressional entity. Yeah. So I think that is the majority of the federal initiatives. I'm gonna hand it over to Merle for nationwide initiatives. For some of the plans from Everyday Democracy.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person, but delighted to be here with you to share some what I think is exciting program to add to already the exciting programming that we've heard about, and that's Everyday Democracy's Our Next 250th toolkit. And so obviously, as you can see, oh, I should probably mention we have new branding. You can see that. Our Next 250th is designed, right, to connect and help people imagine and to create a democracy that they want to live in. And so from June, really the month of June through July, Everyday Democracy is inviting communities across the country to host our next 250th community gatherings. And these gatherings are a chance to build connection and to spark something called civic imagination, where you imagine the shared future you want. And then perhaps most importantly, to practice democracy, right? All the stuff that happens in between elections. So the practice to shape, right, how we want to be together. These events can happen anywhere and will exist in existing communities, such as schools, libraries, homes, block parties. You can do this in a restaurant, with a book club, a knitting circle, and other spaces where people get together, right? If you have a wine and sip, you can integrate this toolkit, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. We suggest food because that usually brings people together. So to keep it, cost effective, you could have a potluck. You could offer light snacks or whatever feels easy, right? And inviting for folks. In May, we will share our free and easy to use Our Next 250th toolkit. And it's really to help hosts who are planning a gathering. So what that means is that there are materials in there to help you plan the logistics of the gathering, to facilitate a gathering, and we have print ready materials that will be in this toolkit. And we will put you within a network of a community of folks who are hosting these conversations across the country during this time and beyond. Again, this is a low to no cost way to mark the 250th anniversary that feels, I think, meaningful and hyper local, right? So if you know any communities that might want to host or might be interested, the information that you need, I think, is on the next slide. Yes, what is Our Next 250th? You can grab that QR code to take you to the sign up form where you will be able to access our toolkit. So we'll be sending that out. The goal here is to get at least 250 conversations to happen over the course of this period of time. And so we hope that you'll consider using the toolkit in the most, I would say, delicious way, right? Which is like really personal with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, with your neighbors. Yeah, that's what I got.
Carol. So then, along with that, a couple of other nationwide initiatives that we've been sharing with folks. Civic Season, which was launched by Made by Us, is going to be beginning on Juneteenth of this year and goes through July 4th. They also have their Youth 250 Bureau, which is working on 250th activations for I think Gen Z largely. And so we've linked out to a short video that they've created titled Our Declaration. So folks can view that. On July 4th at 2 p.m., bells will be ringing throughout the nation, and that is part of Let Freedom Ring, which is shepherded by the National Bell Festival. The National Flag Foundation is also inviting buildings and bridges across the country to be lit up in red, white, and blue, which is Light to Unite. And then we've spoken about America's Potluck, which was started by the Utah 250th Commission, and the Spirit of America, which is the nationwide reading of the Declaration of Independence. And we look forward to participating in that through a partnership with the Beinecke Library. But with all that said, all of these different initiatives are being adopted by different communities all throughout the state. So there will be different iterations. And it was a large part of what was spoken about during our regional gatherings of affiliates and local committees throughout the state back in March. And then I'll pass it over to Rachel to share with you all about the Northeast Regional Planners. Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so this is from Monday, so good for you for getting that slide up with our lovely photo that I hadn't seen yet. So there is a group of Northeast Regional Planners that's been meeting for about 5 years or so now, and it's all the New England states plus New York and some folks from Canada. And have been doing annual meetings every year. We haven't been able to go the last couple of years because it's coincided with the League's conference. So this year we got to host it. And we had a pretty good group of folks that came down to Ridgefield. Ridgefield Historical Society gave us a tour of the Battle of Ridgefield. They've got an archaeological site that is currently is excavated the right word? Okay. Thank you. So they gave us a tour there. That was really great. And then we went to Keeler Tavern for our meeting. We spent about 4 hours hearing from people from all over New England, what they're working on, what they have coming up. A lot of the people in this room were here. Secretary Thomas gave us some remarks at the beginning, so thank you for that. And we learned a lot about all the collaborations that are going on around New England, and hopefully those will continue. Lots of good things going on. So thanks for everybody who came or wished us well.
Are there any questions or general comments on any of these national regional updates before we move on?
I was just going to say that the regional gathering, were there ideas shared about what different states were doing? I'd like to hear about that at some point. Maybe not today, but
yeah, just briefly, there were a couple of collaborations that went on, like between New York and Massachusetts. They shared some information on the Knox Trail. So Henry Knox's, thank you. They did a whole really, really involved event where they had draft horses and they reconstructed the artillery and the sleds, and they went to probably 15 or 20 different places in Massachusetts and New York and followed his path. So they had some really neat, they had a presentation on that. I was not in the room for most of the morning, so I didn't hear about anything super great.
One of the
then.
best
Yeah.
ideas I heard was from Massachusetts. Not that I'm trying to monetize America 250, but they put together a commemoration license plate. So it's also an income stream for the state now. I've already reached out to the commissioner of DOT to see what we can do. I doubt we have enough time, but maybe if we use July 4th as the start of a launch, who knows? We'll see.
I think that sounds really interesting. Sure, let's go talk to him.
Never.
Are we
Yep.
gonna return to still revolutionary?
Was there a license plate about that?
I don't think so.
We're breaking new ground here.
We can make it here though, all right? We can make the plates here.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the report out and for all of your work. The event on Monday was amazing and great, so wonderful. And I'll just put a humble side request about, we heard a little bit about Freedom 250 and the events that they have. Would love to be able to keep apprised of all of that. If there's any overlap or events of interest that any of the members or folks would be able to attend or just to be informed about, in addition to all of this wonderful activities that we're going over today. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, Rachel. Yep. All right, now we come to our work plan, which a lot of us have been working very hard on. So Cindy, let's talk about that now. We're going to start with sponsorships and 2026 plans.
So we have been, as was shared at our January meeting, Frank Forges has been, I don't know if I want to say appointed, has
Asked.
asked by the governor to support fundraising efforts for the 250th. We are excited to share that we've had quite a few sponsors come on board through his support. And we are tremendously grateful for all of the outreach that he has been doing. We will continue to work on sponsorships. And if we go to the next slide, Rachel, we've put together a $4.5 million budget, which includes the $500,000 that has been committed by the state to date for administration of the commission, and the over $500,000 that Connecticut Humanities has committed to projects happening throughout the state, and an additional $3.5 million that we've been trying to raise to put together a comprehensive 250th program here in Connecticut, in line with all of the conversations we've had over the last almost 4 years about the direction that the commission would be going. And so, Rachel, if you can go to the next slide. So the plan includes supporting work throughout Connecticut, which is both with the Connecticut Humanities grants, which have totaled, and at this point, over $707,000 to 68 projects. The next deadline for grants, well, the next review of grants is happening next week. So by May, we should have another quite a few projects, because quite a few of the ones that are getting reviewed this month are 250th related. If you go to the next slide, we are also doing educational work and coordinating resources for teachers that are linked to different things that are happening throughout the state. So that includes exhibitions, funded projects that are taking place, a passport that we're working on in conjunction with the Office of Tourism. And so we are looking at educational resources that connect to all of the places, stories, and so on that are in all of these different initiatives that students and families will be seeing throughout the state over the next few months, so that then when summer is over and folks are back to school, there are curriculum resources tied to the stories that they've heard all summer long. Next slide. We are also working on developing the statewide exhibition and a lending library for organizations that cannot, that don't have the capacity to create their own exhibition or really do a concerted effort around the 250th so that they can have resources that they can share in their communities. We are encouraging museum visitation with our partnerships with CT Visit, our passport program, and with hopefully different opportunities for free admission to museums this summer. And then in collaboration with the Yukon College of Agriculture, Health and Natural Resources, we are working on a white oak tree project, which I know we've shared in the past. And Yukon is busy making or raising white oak tree saplings, and those should be available in the fall for planting by municipalities. And we have launched the 250th on CT Visit and are collaborating with CT Visit. We are meeting with them weekly and their team to really think about how we are promoting the 250th here in Connecticut. And I will say, mark your calendars for a press conference on April 28th at 1 p.m. where we'll be announcing these initiatives broadly in collaboration with the Office of Tourism and the Governor's Office. And then finally, we have been working on different ways to support July 4th in Hartford, along with some of our other events, such as the reading of the Declaration of Independence on July 8th, but have included some funds for these bigger commemorative activities. And then finally, mentioned before, but America 250 Connecticut is live on CT Visit. We have been asking municipalities and other affiliated organizations and others that are planning things around Connecticut to start adding their events to CT Visit. We are no longer adding events at the ct250.org calendar and have shifted everything over and see really this CT Visit page as the public interface for the 250th. There will still be quite a few resources on the ct250.org website, but this is really, CT Visit is geared towards visitors finding events and getting out there to do things, and they have the best reach for tourists. And we want to make sure that we are getting the word out to as many folks as possible. So I will pause there and take any questions before we move on.
I just want to offer a comment. First of all, Cindy seems remarkably calm for what's been happening in the last months. It has been nothing short of Herculean in terms of the volume, and Denise too has been amazing. Just the number of calls, check-ins, follow-ups. It is like drinking water through a fire hose. You know, we've been operating on a $0 budget for a long time. And now to have these resources and deploy them effectively and efficiently has been, you know, quite the task. And coordinating with the Office of Tourism, the Governor's Office, with Frank, with all of the sort of pieces, parts of making this actually work. It's been extraordinary. So thank you to Cindy. Thank you to Rachel. I'll say it now, not at the end, because now is when it's really happening. So it's been an intense period. So thank you.
Well said. Well said. And I think it's what happened was January 1st, everyone woke up and said, oh, it really is 2026 now. And it's coming right up. And all of a sudden, everyone wants to be part of it. And you're right, Jason, all of a sudden, everyone came to us and said, what's going on? What can we do? How can we help? And so it's been an extraordinary task to try to organize all that. And I do want to add my personal thanks to Frank Borges. He was amazing in helping with the fundraising. And
Extraordinary.
you know, he's an extraordinary guy. I don't know, he was the state treasurer many years ago and really spends most of his time now away from Connecticut, but he just plunged right in and was so helpful. And I think between Frank and I, we must have spent at least 100 hours on the phone you're getting sponsorships for this program. It's been extraordinarily successful in a very short period of time. So So I'm very grateful for that. But now it's up to us. And I want to thank all of you too. I want to make a special mention of the Education Committee who has produced this curriculum, which I think could be the most lasting legacy of this commission once we get it out into the schools. And Steve, thank you for all your efforts on that, because now it's up to us to try to get it into the schools around. But, you know, that's, I don't know if you realize there are other efforts going on to get curriculum into our schools. And we have something that I think is a very, very strong imagining of the history of Connecticut's actual part in all this. So thank you, Steve, and the people that work with Steve. And we now are going to places like the boards of education. We're doing a webinar for the boards of education next week, I think it is. And we've gone to the superintendents of schools, so these statewide groups, to try to let them know what's going on. And I just want to say, I think our biggest challenge really up till now and from now on is going to be marketing. Let people know what's going on, because as you can hear, there's a great deal going on. It's a challenge finding ways to get that to the public. So that hence our partnership with CT Visit, because that does have the best reach for people who want to get in on what's going on. But and I have to say, a lot of the towns have been extraordinary in their efforts. And so when you go around locally, like I live in Storrs, and right next door is Willimantic, and they have this famous, or I guess, famous for various reasons, the Boombox Parade. If anyone has ever gone, it's this kind of crazy parade where anyone can march, and there's no marching bands. There's just radio blaring. It's a great experience. But anyway, they have come up with a committee that's done this extraordinary, event that's going to be going on after the Boombox Parade. They've just kind of tagged on. That will be a big regional event. So there's a lot of that going on around the state. And I feel like just what we were saying about what's going on in Southington, they're following the themes that we've laid out, which I think is terribly important right now, that we stick to the themes that we laid out with such vigor and rigor at the beginning of the meetings of this commission. We spent a lot of time figuring out why we were really doing this. So I think it's all coming together. And thank you all for all the efforts, trying to bring in all the affiliate groups and the towns. That took us a long time, but the infrastructure is in place now. So again, thanks to everybody, but especially to Cindy and Rachel. I agree, Jason. They've got a lot to do still. And so we're going to get to how you guys can all help along that path as well, because there's still a lot to do. So
That's a
anybody else
great
want-
introduction for the next slide.
Is that a good segue? All right, good. There you go.
So a little more will be shared during our subcommittee updates, but there is still a lot of support that is needed. We have 24 missing municipalities. We are at 145, and we definitely need help reaching these last 24, whether it is commission members or folks out there that are listening to our meeting right now. We will share the list with you all. But there are still some folks that need to be brought in. We are also asking you all to share the final 2 affiliate deadlines with organizations. There is a deadline coming up at the end of April and another on May 31st. We are at 227 affiliates and are asking you all to invite in people who might not feel like they're part of the 250th, or that it makes sense for them to be a part of the 250th, because there is definitely a way that they can connect with either the last 250 years of history or shaping the next 250 years. And so, and just as an example, I've shared it quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, but we had a conversation with Iris back in March, which is the refugee resettlement group down in New Haven. They were thrilled to be invited to participate. I really thought that at some point we had reached them through all of our kind of general outreach, but they hadn't heard the invitation. And so I'm asking all of you to think about who is not on our list and who hasn't been invited in yet, and to take some time to invite them in.
You make sure that everybody has a quick link to send for the invitation.
We're also asking you all to introduce us to potential funders. We've done lots of outreach over the last probably 3.5 years, but definitely over the last 4 months, there has been a lot of outreach. But that introduction is really the most helpful way to get us in the door. If you know somebody that should be funding the 250th, please introduce us. We are happy to share our sponsorship packet. Frank is determined to get us to that $3.5 million mark. And so we need everybody's help to make it there. We are also asking you all to support and attend 250th events across the state. We are doing a monthly newsletter with all of the 250th events for the following month that have been shared with us. And so you should all be subscribed. Check your spam if you're not seeing it. Take a look at that and see what you can attend. People love to have our commission members present for their events. So please consider making some time to attend those. And then our final ask is, if you're available, please think about volunteering in Hartford on the 4th of July. We would love to have you there. We're anticipating about 50,000 people in the city on the 4th. And so the more volunteers, the better. And we will also be sharing a sign-up sheet for that. So we still need your help to make it across the finish line, but we are very grateful for all of your support and everything you've all done to help plan over the last 3.5 years. And I will pass it on to subcommittees.
Cindy,
Yeah.
quick question. So we have a pool of volunteers that we send events that we're doing, but like, would you want us to include this in our general monthly call? And then what should they do if they're interested?
We have a form that they can submit to, so we can share that and a blurb. We're also sharing similar information with a few of the sponsors. They have employees that are also interested. So we will add you all to the list.
Can I ask about the shift from ct250.org for the events to CT Visit? Is there anything that affiliates need to know, or anything that we need to know when we're reaching out to affiliates about that difference? Other than, I guess, more of a wide ranging publicizing of their events.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The process is very similar. We have, just so you're all aware, we have a webinar that we held with Rachel Lenda from the Office of Tourism to kind of talk people through how to submit their events. We recorded it, and that's available on our website. All that they have to do is check a box that says, yeah, CT.
It's a little hidden.
Yeah.
Like a cat is, I'm not required.
Okay. So there, yeah, on one of the tabs when you're submitting your event, there's a box that says CT250 requested. When we see, when somebody checks that off, it comes to our inbox, and then we tag it to the CT250 calendar. So all people need to know is that they need to check that box. We occasionally will find other 250th affiliated events that don't have the box checked off, and we can go behind the scenes and add it. But that is the easiest way to make sure it shows up on the CT250 calendar. And I think in general, we've been migrating over the events that were submitted to us originally and getting them onto that CT Visit calendar. But overall, it should get a lot more eyes on their events than what we're able to provide. the amount of time and money to really get our calendar to the point where CT Visit is would have been exorbitant. So it makes a lot more sense to just use the existing resource where people are already looking. And the Office of Statewide Marketing and Tourism will be adding a 250th section to their, I think it's called What to Do This Weekend e-blast that goes out every week. So they'll be highlighting every week some 250th events. And we'll be doing kind of a more dedicated announcement that the 250th is coming and that there is this section of the website that they can access. So they are really being hugely supportive and getting the word out.
Great. Anything else?
Do you have any comments online? I don't know, Rachel, are you monitoring? Okay.
Yep. All right. So I think we'll move on and get to subcommittee updates. We'll start with governance.
Yeah, I think I don't have very much to add to what Cindy already just said. I want to thank everyone for the work that's already been done, reaching out to all your contacts, 227 affiliates so far. We're well on our way nearly to the goal of 250 by July 4th. I'm just hoping nothing slows down, but it seems like we should be able to reach that goal. But of course, we want to blow right past it as well. And I think I would just also really encourage, thinking beyond, we have so many great libraries and historical societies and museums already committed. And we would love to see a diverse representation of other organizations as well. I think, the more diverse the affiliates are, the more diverse the event listings will be for people in many different ways, geographically and others. So yeah, I think if there's anything you need from us, like any language, any graphics, anything that you need as you think about your outreach, to let us know and we can develop something for you.
Great. Okay. All right, we'll move on. Eris, community and organizational development, engagement, sorry.
Sure, yeah, thanks so much. Again, I don't have a ton to add either, but I will update that in my latest look at the town committees that we have signed up. There are only 25 towns left to get.
Oh.
So I would encourage everyone to take a look at that list on the website once again. And if you have a contact in any of the towns that have a blank listed next to them or that you see on the map, you're like, I know where that is. Please connect them with Cindy and Rachel and we can get them on the list.
And sorry, what are you trying to?
Making sure that we have a contact for who's coordinating 250th stuff in every town in Connecticut. Look at that. Did you make the list? Yeah, look at that.
So,
Was my count right?
It's 24.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm a little worried,
Okay.
but we'll see.
I was literally like going through and like counting them physically on the website. So your information may be more up to date.
I hope so.
My plan is to go camp out at the legislature and approach the legislators from these towns because I think they would want to know that their towns were involved. I have a plan.
I've already started sending some emails that to the legislature.
There were also regional affiliate and local committee gatherings that occurred earlier in the spring. I went to the one in Old Saybrook, which was pretty small, but it sounds like there was good turnout at many of these events. I know that Cindy and Rachel sent along like the notes from all of these meetings. And because I wasn't at all of them, I would leave it to one of the two of them to say more. But at the meeting I attended in Old Saybrook, it was a good conversation about what the municipalities represented were doing locally, a sharing of ideas. And we were really pleased that Cindy and Rachel were able to announce the CT Visit collaboration that very day. So this was a good way, I think, to connect people within different parts of the state, as well, and share out from what the commission has been up to, as well as get a good kind of like ground truthing about what's happening locally in all of these places. And I think the answer is a lot. I think we have known for a long time that the really exciting stuff that's happening around the 250th is happening at the local level. And I think the regional gatherings were evidence of that.
I'll just add quickly that the recap is linked from the agenda, and that's probably the easiest way to get up to date on what occurred during those meetings. I think there were a lot of ideas shared, a lot of opportunities for new collaborations that folks were considering. It helped us get a sense of what the bigger events are going to be, because people were able to highlight what their big event is, as opposed to the calendar shows us a full listing of what's happening, but sometimes it's hard to figure out which one's the one they're anticipating 1,000 people at and where they're anticipating 20 people. So it was very helpful for us. It gave us an opportunity to engage with people. I think folks were eager to do more of these. I don't think we will be able to do that for them, but we did share a list of who attended these meetings to allow them to communicate with one another, and continue to meet if they so choose. So it was a great opportunity. And I think we have education up next.
Okay, thank you, Emrys. Now we'll turn to education. Steve. what's going
Yeah,
on?
I want to kudos to the folks at CT Humanities for their work on the curriculum materials. Misa, Rachel, Cindy, all of you were helpful in that. We're still getting kudos, by the way, from teachers. You may remember we did a webinar on the Ken Burns series, and we were able to show them some clips before the series actually came out. We're still getting thanks on that effort.
That's a good idea.
We have the program, the Local History Project, where teachers and students and schools can get certificates for participation in America 250 related curriculum work. Deadline for that is May 1. We're doing some webinar series in conjunction with Connecticut Council for the Social Studies. That's the teacher organization in Connecticut, where we're sort of working them through the curriculum materials, but we're also doing some sort of pedagogical talks on how to teach some of the difficult themes associated with this. So 4 webinars with Connecticut Council to Social Studies. And Cindy or Rachel, could you remind me about the My America project?
Of course. So My America was the project that we spoke with that are, so there is a image on the bottom here of a flag. It is made up of different fabric squares. There we go. I wanted to say tiles and I'm like, I know it's not tiles. So fabric squares that students can write a message on about what America means to them. They did this project in 2001 in the aftermath of 9/11 and are doing it again now. I want to say, if you go to My America's website, which is linked from the agenda, they are keeping a tally of how many students from each state are participating. I believe Connecticut is up to right around 1,000. Arizona is leading with, I think, 11,000. And yeah, I think it is students. I don't think it's schools. But that is free for teachers to participate in. They will be taking all of the fabric squares and sewing them together into a large scale flag that will be unveiled at Boston Common in December and then travel around the country. So that is just another nationwide initiative that is available for people to participate in as they would like.
Do we know who's sponsoring it exactly? Is it an organization called My America?
It's a nonprofit group. I can't remember what their name is. But
Massachusetts, I believe.
yeah, it's out of Massachusetts.
And how are teachers finding out about this? It's, I guess, through the normal channels, they just kind of mail to the schools and get them involved, yeah.
I believe so. We have also included it in any resources that we've shared out with teachers as kind of another, similar to America's Field Trip, just another opportunity they can sign on to if they're interested.
So I could just tell you, fine folks, that there's teachers at the secondary level, at the elementary level that are engaged in this.
Yeah.
And are using our materials on this, so that's a good thing. I would say candidly, the one area we never quite got was how to get this into the universities.
Yeah.
You know, that was we had ideas about that, but candidly, that isn't as successful. I mean, the other stuff I think is very good. I mean, we got teachers using our stuff, but I just wish we'd been able to come up with some other strategies to get this into at the university level.
That's always difficult, right? Because they're not really, there's no organized network you can go through, yeah. They're both public and private and, yeah. Yeah, that's always a challenge, isn't it? I have to think about that.
State historians bully pulpit.
Universities are doing stuff. They're just sort of as proud of their independent intellectual integrity. Yeah, but I think that, one thing that would be very nice is if at least they shared some of what they're doing, UConn and Yale and Central, and, they've been doing great events actually and have more planned. It would be nice to get them connected at least with the calendar, even if they're not accepting, at least they could be giving, so we can, I will informally encourage them to make sure that they're promoting what they're doing.
We have been able to share out, CCSU did a Connecticut 1776 conference that we were able to share out. Yale did a First America, there we go, conference that we included in share outs with folks. So those things have come across our desk. I can't think of others, but I know those for sure.
You're organizing the public reading. I mean, you're collaborating with the Beinecke on the public reading.
Yeah.
Another one.
Exactly.
I think you're working with the state historian at UConn pretty extensively.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So it's happening. It's just not so.
The trees that are being planted through UConn as well. So there are collaborations happening.
And I just have a question about, we had the ongoing programs that we always try to affiliate with, like the red, white, and blue schools. Are we going to have plans maybe for next year to do something with that thematically?
Marianne?
I would think so. We're actually just about to be wrapping up this year's red, white, and blue schools. So we're really focused on encouraging people to submit for this year, but I would hope that we would continue, in some way with the 250th theme for 26, 27.
Perhaps relatedly, Connecticut Humanities, the Secretary of State's office, the Connecticut Democracy Center, and the Commission on Women, Children, Seniors, Equity and Opportunity. Thank you for the assist. We are sort of collaborating right now on the next Connecticut Civic Health Assessment. So really looking broadly at the state of civic engagement in Connecticut, since it's been 10 years since our last
Right.
index, if you will.
Great. Okay. So so this will continue on and these resources will be available now for all those efforts. That's great. Okay.
Could I-
Yeah, go ahead. Got plenty of
I
time.
think one topic that for the good that many teachers are talking about is that there's more to teaching the revolution and the revolutionary era than the founding fathers. That there were other groups engaged at the time. There were other groups in America and Connecticut at the time. I think that alone was worth everybody's efforts.
Right.
Because a lot of teachers never taught that before and they said they're teaching it now. So.
Great contribution. That's right. Okay. I think those are all the subcommittee updates. Jason, do you have anything else?
I think we've covered bases. Yeah. I think just a broad thanks to everybody for all of your contributions, to the subcommittees who aren't represented here, and the people who participated. Well, the leadership has been, but the members are not. Big thank you.
Yep.
No, just add a quick note. I forgot to mention it earlier. In your packets, you have a draft schedule for July 4th of 2026. So please take a look. Reach out if there is anything that you see that is missing or
Just a completely minor correction, but the exhibit at the Museum of Connecticut History is called Connecticut's Revolution.
Thank you.
30 a.m. Oh,
Museum of Connecticut History
Yes,
in Deborah's
right.
house has been working very hard on a major exhibit about the revolution in Connecticut. It's going to be excellent, and a lot of gnashing of teeth went into the title, so it's getting
What is the correct title?
Connecticut's Revolution.
Opening July 4th, and it'll be open for a year, so we hope that you will join us.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can
That's
that
why you were
schedule
there.
be emailed? I don't believe that was emailed with the agenda.
Yeah, we'll make sure to email that and the slides as well.
Thank you.
So that everybody has access to them.
Thanks.
All right, that concludes our formal business. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Secretary, no.
No, it's a public comment thing.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say we're to the public comment. You're not technically the public, are you? You're kind
In this regard, I am.
I guess so.
Because I see Ariane brought with us, you've all heard of Flat Stanley. The Connecticut Secretary of the State's office will be rolling out Flat Roger. If you're in doubt of who Flat Roger is, it's Roger Sherman, one of Connecticut's leading figures throughout this era. I don't know how he had the time. Roger Sherman of Connecticut signed 4 of the major documents during that period, the US Constitution, but for these purposes, the Declaration of Independence. And not only was he a signer, he was one of the Committee of 5 who drafted the Declaration of Independence. So we are trying to get people to do history, think about different communities, and still honor Roger's role. So we will be rolling out many, many different versions of Roger. So like this is what he actually looks like, but we are moving him forward into the future. Like we have Roger eating pizza. We'll have Yukon Husky fan Roger. We must have like 12 or 13 like different types of Rogers. We have like 1970s Roger. And it's really thinking about how we have a version of this that says like no internet, no phone, and still got a country started. And the point is, like, you can be a civic leader, and we have relied on civic leaders throughout the last 250 years, much like we will for the next 250. So we're trying to create many different versions of Roger so that everyone sees themselves as part of that civic legacy, if you will. So we'll be doing targeted outreach to different communities. So some of them are, you can color your own. Some of them are pre-formed. Yes, in case you were wondering, we also will have a life-size cutout of Flat Roger that we'll be taking to like fairs and festivals, so people can take photos. So we just wanted to let you all know, because like Flat Stanley, we hope people will take Flat Roger with them to various civic opportunities, or when they're volunteering or going to the legislature, take photos and hashtags. So forewarned, you will be seeing more Flat Roger.
Are we going to be seeing him at the legislature before they adjourn this year?
Actually, I should bring him at the gavel out. Yes.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. We need a Flat Roger with a gavel.
That was always our most important job. Gaveling out the
That would
session.
actually
The
be
only
funny.
problem is it's at midnight. It's a little late for a viewing audience.
Although, but
So-
Flat Roger can stay up late.
Yeah, he's fine. Everybody else is.
Budgetary.
Great, I love that.
Funny.
So as soon as all these are up on our website and posted, I'll send around a link so you all have access to all the versions that we have.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have one right at my house. Yeah.
We'll send you a large cutout.
We'll send you the light.
Life-size cutout. I want it. I can put it on
On your
on
lawn.
campus. It's right next door.
Oh my
That'd be
God,
great.
that'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Any other public who would like to make an announcement or say anything? No, no?
I'm here representing Hartford Bonanza. Most of you might know me.
Oh,
My name is
yes.
Jennifer.
Why don't you come up and, announce who you are and tell us.
I'll be brief. You've all heard from us
No, we have
before.
plenty of time. We're in good time.
My name is Jennifer Crooks. I'm on the Hartford Bonanza team. I just wanted to repeat the invitation to everyone on the call, all of the affiliates, to Hartford Bonanza in Bushnell Park on July 4th. A reminder that we're independently produced. So Hartford Bonanza is produced by First Night Hartford Inc., which is a nonprofit. We're currently operating with, we hope this will change, but we actually are operating without city or federal funding. And we just have a couple of grants from the Connecticut Office of the Arts, which we'll grant for, and we're tripling our capacity. So the point of Hartford Bonanza is to showcase our statewide celebration through a completely free festival. We will have an America 250 zone where affiliates from all around the state are invited to interact with the 50,000 people we're expecting. We hope Flat Stanley will be at Hartford Bonanza. We'd be happy to do some content creation to help get Flat Stanley out into community.
Roger.
I'm sorry. I am a Roger. I went to Trinity. But anyway, if you have any questions about Bonanza, how to get involved, if there's anything confusing about what we're doing throughout the day, we'd be happy to be engaged with all of you as we look forward to Independence Day in our capital city.
No, it looks terrific. And we're very hopeful that all those 50,000 people will come. And I think they will. Everybody's getting quite excited about all this. So
Lots to engage with, and it's collaborative in nature. So we're not doing it by ourselves, but it is a way for us all to be together, showing civics, history, art, culture as the ways that community can engage with one another.
going to be music? Are there bands involved?
Yeah, so Hartford Bonanza, this is actually our 6th year. So this is an annual Independence Day festival that this year also serves as the statewide 250 fireworks celebration. Last year it was 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. with the fireworks kind of culminating the festival. This year it's 2 stages from 12 to 10. So we're very much expanding. It's mostly music on those stages. The Hartford Symphony Orchestra will be there. We can't announce, but we have a special musical guest who's curating American music forms that are of all different genres that are going to be a celebration of Hartford and Connecticut's contributions to the global music scene and to American music. It's going to be a really spectacular, basically an arts and culture festival that also has these incredible elements of civics, history, community, food, lots of food trucks.
Very exciting. Yeah, I thought I'd ask about that because yes.
And I'm just curious, how is the bell ringing going to work?
We're going to pause programming at 2 p.m. And actually, I was going to ask all of you, it's very hard to figure out within here for our project, within hearing distance of Bushnell Park, like Center Church is definitely on board. We're trying to get Trinity College to ring their carillon. I think that St. Joseph's Cathedral has working bells. So I'm actually actively personally looking for the active bell towers in downtown Hartford, but also around the region. And if anyone has any hints, just send them to me because that's what we'd like is to actually announce from the stage and in our programming, in our print guide, we want to tell people that 2 p.m. is kind of a special moment. And our idea is that we'll be silent and we'll hear the magical sound from around the region. But I need more bells to make that real.
Bell at the Capitol?
Yeah, there is.
I
We
thought
do,
there was.
well, we don't ring it. I think we kind of gong it.
Yeah,
That will work.
I seem to recall hitting something
Yeah,
once.
we-
Well, there's the one inside,
In
but
the
I thought.
Capitol, off there to the left, yeah. Yeah, we have a bell ringing ceremony for something else, but I can't remember.
MLK Day, they bring
Yes.
that one. But I thought once I did something outside.
I don't
Maybe
know.
not.
We can be creative. We're arts people. So whatever, as long as it sort of is in that bells and bell towers, we want all the historic ones that are actually working. And we're just trying to get in touch with them to let them know.
I'm supposed to know the answer to this, but who knows about East Hampton bells?
I was just gonna
Yes,
ask Cindy to, they were displaying the other day and
So
Ridgefield.
bells, they are the last bell manufacturer in the United States. They are located in East Hampton. They are licensed with America 250, so they can produce bells with anyone's logo and the America 250 logo, which is rare and difficult to find. So it is a great opportunity for swag for anybody who's looking for some. They have sleigh bells and cowbells and jingle bells. That are available for folks and are a Connecticut business. So
can pass this around. I
oh,
have this from the other
there
day.
we go.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
I actually have a question unrelated to Hartford Bonanza, which is about, I live in Meriden. I'm embarrassed that we're not on that list. But
I'm being appointed the.
little busy. I'm a little busy. I'm passionate about regional travel, including multi-state regional travel. So is there anything, Rachel or others who were at the regional meeting in Ridgefield about promoting tourism across state lines? Anything with Amtrak? I'm sort of a little out of the loop with our conversations with DOT about trains and buses, but hopefully we still have time to help people get to the capital city and to other cities during the same week this summer, to engage in 250 activities, whether it's July or other months. I really wish that we could jumpstart that conversation that I'm sure other states are having. So anything I can do to help there.
With the tall ships that are coming, like there must be a schedule already set for those, and then kind of like that in between New York and Massachusetts, like what's
Exactly.
that time frame that people will be like either going up or coming down.
Yeah, the tall ships are coming, I know, to Greenwich. Are they coming anywhere else in
I think
Connecticut? I
one
don't.
tall ship is going to Greenwich.
One, yeah,
Yeah.
right. And that's about it. I don't think they're coming to
But
Connecticut.
I'm just saying, like, because
Oh.
Meaning people will travel from other states
to
come up
yeah.
to
Yeah.
Massachusetts. or
Right.
And
whatever
as long as they're
going,
driving through
and they'll be
Connecticut.
coming through, so it's like, how do we time it to attract them?
Yeah.
DOT might be interested.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of promoting, we can definitely mention it for the folks at CT Visit and the Office of Tourism to think about. Most of the conversation was really around the World Cup. And the issue is that I think fewer people will be staying in Connecticut. I think Providence, Massachusetts, we're having a lot of Rhode Island and Massachusetts, we're having a lot of conversations about the location of Foxborough relative to the 250th, because they also have games right around July 4th. New York is in conversation with New Jersey specifically. But that was where most of the regional travel conversation was happening. But I think there are definitely opportunities around, like Ariane mentioned, the tall ships and then other initiatives that will be bringing people around.
Good news. I just had a meeting Friday at 3 o'clock with the commissioner of DOT. If you'd like to join that call, you're
And we'd be
welcome
happy to participate. Our whole mission is collaboration and showcasing the really the capital city and its cultures. Yeah, thank you.
Friday afternoon.
Wants to make the Hartford line free or run a promotion on July 4th.
That would be
That'd
amazing.
be a cool thing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Once you ride the Hartford line once, you can't go back. This is a good time to go.
Thank you.
I once tried to commute that way from Norwalk.
Norwalk's tough, but
It's tough.
Meriden, bet you there.
Yeah, Meriden's perfect, yeah. We look forward to having Meriden on our list.
I will take the time
Emailing
to work
Meredith.
on it.
I'm emailing Ginger Jewel at the Historical Society.
Wonderful,
right
perfect.
now.
If you need me to stop by, I will.
Great. That's been a very productive presentation there.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. Anyone else?
You had your hand raised first.
Oh, I was gonna put in the plug for the free train to Hartford.
The free train, right?
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure we done that.
And Stephanie, Secretary and I do have notes about the license idea. I think that's kind of a cool idea if we could make it happen. Having a special license plate. So it would be cool. Yeah, we'll do that too.
Are you just here for a visit? Did you want to say anything? Okay.
Aha.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself? Since we now have you in the spotlight.
I'm Colin LaMontagne. I am, the outreach engagement intern, at the Office of the Secretary of the State. For this semester, I'm currently getting my Master's of Public Policy at UConn. So.
Hey,
Welcome.
Awesome.
nice to have you here. All right, well, if we have no further business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. We are adjourned. Thanks very much, everyone.
Second, third.
We'll see you. Oh, yeah. Well.